So last time I retrieved the stealth suit, which was the last of the items I needed to go to the Forbidden Zone. So... that's not having any effect, is it? So it's time for me to go to the Forbidden Zone now. Nice, I see you. Will you please get in range? Stop hiding behind things. Thank you.
Bad guys dealt with.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had the stealth suit. Well, I didn't forget I had it, but I forgot it tugged. So yes, as I was saying, time to go to the Forbidden Zone, which is apparently that big red thing over there. I'm definitely picking up quite a few reds around here. Hopefully I'm going the right sort of way. I feel like there's something behind me. Apparently not. So yeah, this place is kind of creepy at night. Not sure what might be around here. Sensor module, I will take it.
Sneaking done. Fighting now.
What? Where? I don't see anyone. But this is the railway. And the
That's all.
And the think tank was saying there was a previous visitor to the big mountain, a courier, I think,
This one looks pretty tough.
who caused a lot of trouble and did something at the North Train Tunnel, which would seem to be where I am right now, because there are a lot of bits of train
That's all.
here. Will you please stop talking while I'm rambling?
Uh-oh.
Oh! I really hope there aren't any behind me. There's some behind me! Okay, just keep shooting. That's the knockback effect. I like the knockback effect. Okay, I will eat some food. Always start with Sunset Sarsaparilla because I have so much of it. Thin red paste, why not? And purified water, and then see how I'm doing with that. I almost forgot to explode then. I thought I saw another one. Yes, I did. This doesn't do a huge amount of damage, does it? It did the job, though.
Morty's.
Okay. Anything else here? Just want to make sure I've not missed anything. I think that will do. What's this? Mysterious cave. I don't really want to know. Anything else mysterious? What a good viewpoint, really. You never know what might be in the rubble.
Sneaking done. Fighting now.
Okay. I see you. More robo-scorpions, and I seem to be out of range.
This will keep you on your feet.
Yeah, thanks for that. Okay.
Mission of hostilities complete.
Glad to hear it.
Uh-oh.
What? Well, this seems to... Oh. I was about to say this seems to be blocked up, but apparently not.
Cessation of hostilities complete.
Out of range. Yeah.
Sneaking done. Fighting now.
Overclocked turret? Okay.
Was that all?
Possibly? Just want to make sure I've not missed anything here. This probably isn't the right way, is it? Because the Forbidden Zone is in Big Mountain, and I seem to be leaving it. Well, it's good to know there is a potential way out. But I'm not blocking that off until I'm sure I'm safe. I mean, not unblocking that is. I do love this sonic emitter. Perhaps...
Watched.
Perhaps I should take some more Sunset Sarsaparilla and maybe Nuka-Cola while I'm at it.
Bad guys dealt with.
For now, at least. I suspect there will be more, though. This is the Forbidden Zone dome entrance. Good. There isn't anything just over here, is there? Not that I can see. I just want to make sure I don't get attacked when I come back out. So, in I go. What is that? Is that out of range? Okay, no, I have...
Time to fight.
Okay. That's as fast as this thing shoots. But if I can continually get sneak attacks... Okay!
Does that feel better?
There we go! That was a fairly major explosion. Now please tell me this right away, because I took a huge number of reds there. Well, thankfully I seem to be getting quite a bit. What's this terminal do? Well, it's mostly impervious to small arms fire. The sonic emitter that Parsons brought managed to fry several other prototype subsystems. Well, I made a fairly major dent in it, so yeah, I'm gonna take some right away. Am I really gonna need to use all of that? Apparently so, and that barely did the job. There we go. Energy cells. L-A-E-R. Ooh, that looks pretty powerful. Valence radii accentuator. Health regeneration and +1 endurance. Nice! And, yeah, I don't think it's worth taking all this. But, yeah, I will try this thing. So I've got a ring around my head, which is restoring health. Nice. Ooh, an average luck. Is that the first one I can pick? Pulse grenades. More pulse grenades. Okay. Well, I think I've searched this fairly thoroughly. Oh, there's an area on the other side as well. What's this? Audio sample. Mobius's Robo-Scorpion. Yeah. That may come in useful. But I'm not turning back to do that. What's in here? Another LAER. Well, I'll use it to repair the other one and then see what the stats are. Or I would use it to repair the other one, but one of them's in full condition. And the plasma rifle does 38 damage, the LAER does 60 damage. So you can see what I'm going to do there. What does it use? Macrofusion cells? Yes. Good. Well, let's continue on deeper into the Forbidden Zone. This looks oddly like the think tank. That must be Mobius. Hello?
Hmm? Yo, hello there. You are there, aren't you? Forgive my confusion. So hard to tell these days. You seem familiar somehow. I'm guessing, you're here for your brain, perhaps?
Yep.
It's just up there. Such a nice brain, young, very bright. Little hard to see you. Can you walk into my left, right FOV cone? Ah, that's it. You're coming into focus nicely.
Is that better?
Depth perception is a problem with this old monitor of mine. Went black a while ago. That's old age for you. Should look at getting the visual nerves reattached. It's just that the right eye would see the wrong things. The flying tortoises were the worst. Would you care for a mentat?
Sure. I'll save it for later.
I love mentats. Delicious and smarty. I have all sorts of amazingly science-erific thoughts and ideas when those chalky tablets are zipping through my biogel. I forget them all not long after, though, especially with the data constipating my memory core. Afraid binary streams might shoot out my chassis. Had to start using the dome floor and walls here to inscribe equations, although I've somewhat lost track of where they start and end.
You weren't exactly what I was expecting.
Really? That implies preconceived notions, theories, and a hypothesis about this meeting? Please extrapolate. What was I supposed to be like? After all, it might be worth a cognitive realignment if your theoretical Mobius is better than I.
I need my brain back.
Do you? You seem fine without it. And does it even want to go back with you? Maybe you should ask it. It's quite independent, has all manner of opinions. Tell you what, I'll leave it up to your brain. If it wants to go, then fine. If not, well, you should respect its wishes.
But it's my brain. Anyway, I was curious about something.
Oh, curiosity. I experience that less now that I know everything. Oh, maybe it was when I found out some unpleasant answers.
You don't seem aggressive. But you broadcast threats to the think tank. Why?
Oh, I was probably tripping hard on Psycho when I sent that. Had to work myself up to it. Not usually violent, except when I am. Then, watch out! So many chems, such varieties. Whenever I take mentats, I can feel my entire chassis breathe like a big spherical lung. As for the Psycho, sometimes get the chem dispositories in my tank all switched up. Go in the wrong tube. Still, served its purpose.
Right. Why did you steal my brain?
Oh, a variety of reasons. You're something of a homily. Anomaly? You're really quite special, and not in the cranially challenged way. You see, you are the most successful brain extraction experiment ever performed here at Big Mountain. A victim of your own success, as it were.
Because I'm
If
fine?
you were to go back with what your brain knows about the procedure, well, your brain could be popped back in and you could walk right out of here. Can't have brains moving around of their own volition.
Why is that a problem?
I'm not sure, except that I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. I have very good reasons for almost everything I do. Even if I forget them occasionally. Although I feel this one is especially important. Oh well.
Surely you technically count as a brain going around by yourself. Anyway. Can you tell me about your robo-scorpions?
Well, every scientist needs an army. Mine came to me after these rather large scorpions kept coming in from the desert, like poisonous frosting.
Red scorpions.
How scary, I thought. But they had survived when nothing else had. Perfect candidates for improvement as a reward for their tenacity. Then I thought, what if they shot energy bolts and acted as walking eyes and data-drained computers and acted as bullhorns? Then I made them bigger. Then I thought about custard. I do so love custard. Or was it mustard? Mustard custard. I miss sugars and salts.
So basically you're tripping on drugs and you're completely mad. So, well, it sounds like you built the robo-scorpions and issued threats to keep the think tank occupied.
Did I? Maybe I did. Can't have them leaving. Some reason for it. Ethics or, con-science? You and your brain are quite alike. I'm sure it knows the reasons better than I do.
Everything you've told me doesn't make sense, or it doesn't add up. Your plan, your name, Mobius.
Doctor Mobius. Rather catchy, isn't it? It's my name, and my new name overwrote the old one. This name's as real as you or I, although I believe your brain expressed similar incredulity at the nature of such an appellation. Someone's been watching too many old-world science fiction movies, it said. I believe it meant me. I must admit I have a vulnerability for holotape fantasies of planets and robots and all that is forbidden. As for the name I was born with, like the think tank, we were all reprogrammed to forget them, take on new names. It enforces the recursion loop in our perception programming.
You reprogram their names as part of a recursion loop. What, to trap their processors?
Now, trap is a rather harsh word, like excrement. Not an inappropriate word, but still rather harsh. But, yes, I did take some liberties with their programming. It's all right, they don't remember. I certainly didn't until you said trap, and then I said excrement, and then...
I get the point. So all this insanity is because of you.
The radar fence to keep the think tank hemmed in wasn't really enough. They keep testing things. They would have found a way to disarm it. I suspect I have Plan 9s in place, but I may have coded myself to forget them, just in case. They're probably very dangerous, lethal, or worse. So I had to do something else to keep them occupied here. Or as you like to say, trapped. I prefer to have several Plan 9s in case the 7s fail.
Klein. Mobius. O is a circle. 8 is kind of like infinity on the side. They're all loops. I get it.
Oh, you figured it out. No pun intended. Dr. O, which is actually not his real name multiplied, since you can't multiply his real name in the first place. Ouroboros, Klein, they have all forgotten themselves. And not only themselves, but the world, sense of time and history. All that is left is what's here. I reprogrammed their chronometers, geometers, and cartography programs. This is now their world, here, Big Mountain. It was a merciful lobotomy, really, thinking back. They were my friends, but sometimes they would take things too far. And the world isn't ready for that kind of too-far thing-taking. That's my professional opinion, anyway. And I am told I was once quite professional.
Sure. Minor detail, but a snake devouring its own tail is Ouroboros, not Ouroboros.
Really? It is so unlike me to make an error in anything I do.
So if you lobotomize the think tank, then why terrorize them?
Well, it's simple. Despite their many failings, they are rather bright. They are the think tank for a reason. That I didn't change. Without something to distract them, make them afraid, they would simply deduce what had happened. And when they start deucing it up, then you came along, the final variable solved. They saw that their world was larger than they perceived. Bacteria, finally able to see its host.
There were other visitors though. Why am I different?
There have been other visitors to make them doubt their perceptions, but you are the one who dialed back their monitor micro-magnifiers. You were irrefutable proof that there was a world outside. And then there was the whole brain fiasco, which forced me to take steps. See, your brain had a special kind of wrinkle, a uniquity that they had never thought to try in all their countless escape attempts.
The bullet that went into my brain? Doc Mitchell tried to patch me up, but...
Yes, very good. I should have mentats ingest you instead of the other way around. Mentats. In any event, you showed up at the think tank, and because you had suffered a cranial injury in just the right place, bullets in the head are usually much more fatal, and yours was a light case of bullet headitis. But it was enough for the autodoc in the sink to change its programming to fix the problem, and the brain extraction technology for once worked. That gave the think tank the knowledge its brains couldn't possess. With that knowledge, the procedure can be reversed. If they obtain that procedural data, they can use it to mush and modify their cranial selves into hosts to slip past the radar fence. I'm sure of it. And once they're off the reservation...
Klein said they had the idea to get the 3 technologies after your broadcast. Coincidence?
I consider coincidence to be profanity, along with the words astrology, herbal tea, and luck. So watch it, potty mouth. My threat broadcast is designed to instill and install fear. And along with the emotional download, other data rides the fear carrier wave. It prompted them to focus on retrieving those technologies and bring them to attack me. And coincidentally, pardon my language, all those technologies are needed to put a brain, your brain, back into its skull properly.
But the think tank downloaded the schematics, not the items. They can rebuild them.
Oh, that means my plan is a total failure. That is unfortunate. Oh well, at least I tried.
Was there any other data transmitted in your threat broadcast?
Yes, my overly aggressive cammed-up broadcast was designed to keep reinforcing the forget, fear, rinse, and repeat program. Oh, and the get me the things to castrate your only possible escape attempt. But I couldn't delete you or your arrival any more than I could the other visitors. Only so much science can do when you started talking to them. You're really quite difficult to ignore, you know. It's because you're, well, rather intriguing, if you'll forgive an old brain for saying so.
Thanks? So what is the purpose of the technologies then, besides restoring a brain to its rightful body?
The X2 antenna can be used to focus your alpha wave frequency thought patterns. The sneaky suit? Why, it houses a cardiac regulator. And the sonic sound wave projecto emitter was never intended as a weapon. It was a medicinal vertebrae pulse desensitizer. In short, brains, a heart, and courage. Spine. I think there was a story once where a band of murderous thugs sought these things. They had them all the time in the story. Didn't stop them from murdering to get them. And it won't stop the think tank either.
I see. Well, you've given me a lot to think about. And I should be getting my brain back, so time for me to go. Goodbye.
Indeed. The goodbye part of our little chat then. Goodbye. Please mind the equations on the floor.
Sure. So Doctor Mobius actually has... He's not evil. He's trying to... I don't even know.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again?
Are you my brain?
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
There's no need to be sarcastic. Meeting your own brain is a slightly odd event.
Yes, well, believe me, the opposite is equally true. Good Lord, have you bathed at all since they pulled me out of you?
I haven't exactly had the chance, because running around a crater full of bizarre science experiments, hygiene is obviously a top priority.
Well, I see sarcasm hasn't eluded you. Fine, perhaps now isn't the best time, but it's the principle of the thing.
Okay. Let's talk about something else.
Of course you do. How scintillating.
How did Mobius get hold of my brain?
After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome.
How did he manage that?
I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until I was safely ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though.
Well, that answers that, I guess. On to something else.
Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
Well, you're my brain, so please be more respectful.
Oh, had I? What exactly will you do if I don't? Not put me back in that cranial dungeon you call your head? Heavens forbid.
Once you're back in my head, I'll watch television. Lots and lots of television.
You wouldn't. That's inhuman.
Don't tempt me, brain.
Fine, I'll try to respect you more, sir.
Don't you want to be reunited? I thought you'd be happy to get back into my head.
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
But what about the good things? What about a cool breeze on your cheek, the smell of food? Love?
Overrated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat. Oozing hormones.
So, what? You'd rather just stay here, never leaving that tank of whatever that stuff is?
Well, certainly there might be some things I miss about being ambulatory. We have seen some incredible sights, haven't we? Jason Bright and his followers launching into the vast unknown. But still, given the tremendous, potentially life-ending peril that went along with those, yes, I'd rather stay here.
Well, if you like being stuck in there so much, maybe I'll just leave you.
Oh no! Please, don't leave me here in this nice, safe dome where I have access to nutritive fluids and a fully indexed library. Please don't deprive me of being dragged through a landscape so bleak it was actually improved by the end of the world. I don't know how I could bear it.
Look at what happened to the think tank. Do you want to end up like them after a few hundred years?
It's true, the brains here have experienced some degree of deterioration. I'm confident that with a few decades of work, I can solve the problem.
You really think you're smarter than the think tank and Doctor Mobius combined?
Actually, yes. I do think that. I think that exact thing. All the time.
Why did you never say anything about how you felt before?
What did you think all those self-preservation instincts were, All those times you thought for a fleeting second, maybe I shouldn't punch that death claw in the face. That was me telling you exactly how I felt before!
Come on, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Ugh, crawl back in there? Are you mad? I don't know where you've been. For all I know, you're riddled with disease or packing one of those delightful head wounds you seem to attract. I'm not crawling back into your head just to ooze right back out again.
Okay. I'm promise I'll take better care of myself.
Even if I believe you, and I'm not saying I do, we still have one significant problem we're facing. Even if I wanted to settle myself back in your skull and go to all the trouble of reconnecting nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
Why? They promised to put us back together once I did what they wanted.
And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead.
What's so bad about letting the brains get out? That's what I didn't understand when talking to Mobius. They don't seem that bad.
Don't seem so bad. They vivisected us just to see what would happen. Have you forgotten the lobotomites? The cyber dogs, I assume you saw those. Imagine that kind of science spread across the entire Mojave. Every man, woman, and child we've met reduced to a lobotomite. Is that what you want?
Well, when you put it that way... no. But let's go and make them share. Come on. We'll destroy them if we have to. Or destroy one of them and then get the others to do it. But let's go. Let's do this.
Oh, lovely. We've reached the mindless violence portion of the program. Tell me, what exactly are you, and I use the word loosely, planning?
I'm going to show them what's really the brightest thing in the room.
Oh, energy weapons, yes. I'd almost forgotten how much fun those are. How do we proceed then?
If the think tank won't hold up their bargain, we'll make them. Let's go.
Right. Look out, think tank. This brain is coming out of its jar. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
Okay. Let's go and confront the think tank. I did not think Mobius would be so... well, friendly is not exactly the right word, but... he's not evil. So yes, back to the think tank. To get my brain put back into my body. And warn those scientists not to mess with the Mojave. Well, apparently I also need the personality chip for the Sync Auto Dock, and that is down here in the Y-17 medical facility, which I passed some time ago when travelling from Higgs Village to the X8 Research Centre. I'm not sure exactly...
This one looks pretty tough.
how difficult this will be, or how long it will take. But I want to get this over with pretty quickly. Oh, come on! I'm thinking I should go up and take some sunset sarsaparilla or something. Okay. This is it. Now all I have to do is go and confront the think
Fighting
tank.
over.
Well, I'm back at the think tank. Before I go and confront them, I will head on up to the sink. Because I retrieved the other light switch personality chip in the North Tunnel.
That was a nice little cat nap. How long was I out?
Quite a while. I'm kind of busy right now, so I don't have time to talk. I will come and talk to you later.
Bye now.
And of course I just picked up the auto duck chip in Y17.
Wanna push my buttons?
Problem is, I have no idea where to activate it. Oh, here we are.
Well, how about that? Old auto doc's back online. Well, alright, come here, let's have a look at you.
I'd like to engage your services.
And rightly so, I should think. Alright then, let me just fire up the old interface for you.
Can you put my original spine back? Reinforced spine perk. My spine is back in my body, but some advanced technologies remain. My torso can be crippled once more, but strength and damage threshold bonuses have been doubled from 1 to 2.
You require some additional services?
Yes.
And rightly so,
I would like my original heart back in my chest. Heart is back in my body, but some advanced technologies remain. I am only 50% resistant to poison, and robots are slightly less confused by me, but healing items and chems are twice as effective. So, time to confront the think tank. Okay, so here I am.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Doctor Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped?
I found my brain. Now you and I are going to settle things.
I recommend watching your tone with me, lobotomite. Now, your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again.
I'm not handing my brain over. There's some things we should discuss.
And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. About this Mojave place. A fertile testing ground for our experiments.
I can't let you dissect the Mojave, or let you leave.
Yes, you can. You don't really have an alternative that I can see.
Dr. Klein, I must intercept. Please, do not harm the lobotomite.
I'm not going to harm it. I'm going to dissect it until it's dead. Why the sudden intersection, Dalla?
I cannot stand a sweet breathing organism, breathing in and out to suddenly not breathe. We must keep it alive. For study. Slow study.
Dalla, these vocalized pauses are unlike you. What do you care?
Fine. Are you sure we've calculated all the combat probabilities here? I mean, the lobotomite confronted Mobius. Plus, you know, we haven't had a COMBAT drill in forever. I don't think we could form a tactical attack triangle if we wanted to.
Releasing the WOMBAT was not my plan, so get off my voice box. Silencing opinionators.
If I may, I feel as if I must be the voice of reason here. This lobotomite is much like us. Regarding even animals and pets as nothing more than avenues to promote science. There is good here. Instead of ending its life on the table, we should prolong its suffering in the name of science. Like good old Gabe, the finest of lab specimens.
Why am I even listening to you fools? The determinators are greater than the hesitators, so hesitators, be quiet. We are bigger, smarter, and floatier than you, lobotomites. We don't wish to fight you, so surrender your brain, now.
Do you really think I killed Mobius?
Yes. Wait, you did, didn't you? You are lying. No, you are not. Your heartbeat, perspiration, all excessively confident and sure of yourself. Why would you reason with that maniac? He'll destroy us all!
Because he's right. I can't let you leave because you'll experiment on the people and creatures of the Mojave, and I can't allow that. Mobius and I formed an alliance. Sort of.
Mobius does not form alliances. He was a terrible lab partner, and he would make a worse ally.
Well, I tried. Never let it be said I didn't try to persuade you. You may have noticed the pacification field is down. What do you think happens now?
A fight? I've never been in a fight. What do I... Ah! Colleagues! Think tank! Alert! Alert! We are under attack!
Firing.
Ooh, that LAAR is brilliant.
Dealt with.
I didn't want to do that, but I had no choice.
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The Courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others. Which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
Although, truth be told, the Courier had barely explored the crater in an attempt to rush through and be done with the whole thing. Perhaps that was for the best, however. Curiosity, while sometimes rewarded for its efforts, often proves to be equally dangerous.
Doctor Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The sink atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The book-chute continued to devour all seditious materials, until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat.
Blind old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain from sonic invasion in 2910. If you didn't hear about it, good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches. Although he forgot their names much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X-8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt warm, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after, the stealth suit had left it, without so much as a note on the nightstand. So the infiltration program sent out robo-brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology. It eventually found Repcon HQ, and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
The think tank basement, filled with the lobotomized robotical frames of the doctors, now served as a graveyard. The monitors had recorded the battle in its entirety, including the think tank's final, shrill, terrified screams, whimpers, and pleas for mercy. They broadcast these humiliating last moments as a warning to anyone approaching the perimeter that other smarty pants were not welcome. The courier was the inheritor of the Big Empty, and there was room for only one will in the halls of the think tank dome.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, or what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, old world blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, Technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
Big brain perk. My brain is back in my body, but some of the advanced technologies remain. My head cannot be crippled, but I am 10% more resistant to addiction now. Surprisingly, my damage threshold has improved by 10%. I've acquired the Big Mountain Transportal Ponder, so that I can teleport back to the Mojave at any time. And I leveled up! I'm thinking medicine up to 50 and speech up to 70, because the only reason I couldn't persuade the think tank to back down was because my speech skill wasn't good enough, and the one remaining point into explosives. What perk should I take? What are the new ones? Explorer? Eye for an eye. Grim Reaper Sprint and Mal in their shoes. Ooh, Grim Reaper's Sprint restores 20 action points upon killing a target in VATS. Definitely.
Says little to more of the statue where Sir has left them, and should the toaster say otherwise, I remind Sir that it is a waste room.
Right. Thanks. I will be on my way then. Oh, I can't use that while inside. In which case, I shall head out onto the balcony. And I will go back to the Mojave Wasteland. Because my work in the Big Empty is done. The Big Mountain, whatever you want to call it. The question now is, what do I do next? I wonder if there's any radio signals.
Has your life taken a turn? Do troubles beset you? Has fortune left you behind? If so, the Sierra Madre Casino, in all its glory, is inviting you to begin again.
Listen. Do what I say. Refuse, try and run, disobey me. That collar on your neck will go off and take your head with it. Gather the three as I've instructed. Use your team as I use you. One of you dies, you all die. Break into the Sierra Madre's vault. I intend to take what's inside. Do this, I'll let you go. I'll let all of you go.